All right, this is in stage 8A and 8B. There's two stages in this bay. First stage is paper, swinger, 2 steel, and a swinger. Here we go. All right, let's talk about the first one, stage 8A. I decided to shoot little popper, big popper, which is the activator, slam 2 into this one real quick, and wait right on the edge of the sign, right there, for that swinger to pop out. These are very devious swingers. I knew from watching other people's videos online that this was a very predictable place. This was going to be right here for 2 shots. What I didn't take into account is what was happening back here. The people who shot the stage with a better score than I did, that I watched their videos, shot activator, little popper, and then this one down here that has a no shoot protecting it was very predictable the first pass. And by the time you got back to this one, it should have been laying almost flat on the way back in. Yes, it was you had to go chase it, but it was closer to chase, and it didn't have a no shoot around it. So I kind of got sucked in to looking at this presentation on this one more than this one. So that's a mental note when you're doing this stuff. Look at the whole thing if you have the opportunity several times. I mean, this thing is moving all over the place. Just backing this up. This is a speed shoot. You're not going to win the match on this stage. Matter of fact, I think one of our nationally ranked national champions zeroed this stage and came back and won the match commandingly anyway. But you can definitely hurt yourself. Yeah, looking at how this one presents the second and third time. So when it comes out the first time, it's right there, boom, boom. Pretty easy, right? Second time it comes out, long exposure. Yeah, it's fast, but it's a long exposure. Third time it comes out, long exposure. Fourth time it comes out, short exposure. I should have been there already. So having known that, this one down here would have been the better choice to take first, especially with a no shoot protecting it. I had to really be careful there. Okay, 8-2 involved. You can't see it here very well because my cameraman's not over my shoulder. You have a popper, full-size paper, the other side of the wall, full-size paper, and a popper. It says shoot them as you see them. The uber flexible or really tall guys actually could lean out and shoot this whole side on the move, falling out of position. I did not have that option. I still took, I think, 4th on this stage. So for the old guy that doesn't do very well in speed shoots, this one went pretty well. You have your decision to make. Embrace which suck you want to embrace. Do I want to draw to the popper and leave on the paper so I can leave more aggressive and have to take my time on the draw? Or do I want to draw to the paper and leave on the steel? Almost everybody knew steel first, take the paper as you're moving out of position, take the paper as you're moving into the second box because there's a more margin for error, then clean up the steel. Here we go. So let's talk about footwork, because that's a big time suck here if your footwork's not clean. You have a choice. Do I leave this position with a step out, right foot stepping out, or do I leave this position with a crossover? So I did a step out, to a crossover, and then had my gun up. Gun never really came down. And as soon as that foot was planted and the left foot was off the ground, I'm shooting. I don't know if that foot even really got to the ground before I was done. Pop, 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 barely. But have a plan. When you go to something like this quick, short movement, Having a plan to place your feet in positions on purpose because you've practiced it and you know for your transition, that's what it's going to take for you to be smooth. Notice I start with a narrow stance. If I had a wide stance, I couldn't have done this technique because when I did the step out, I would have not had much area to move to. I am slightly unstable with a narrow stance. That allows me to be unstable so I can drop out of position quicker. With a wider stance being more stable, it's harder to get out of that position fast. So let's look at how the weight transition here. Transition to the paper, my weight is moving on those last two targets. Could have been a little sooner, but I didn't want to break down too quick. Eyes are up. Gun comes back up. I could have kept the gun up higher. I didn't. But as soon as that foot is off the ground, my left foot, I'm ready to start shooting. So footwork was really important on this little speed shoot.